Hey, everybody, how you doing? Well, that's good. Welcome to the PHLY Flyers pregame show presented by Coors Light. Visit CoorsLight.com/PHLY hockey to get Coors Light delivered or to find a Steer store near you. Steer store, you know.
Same thing.
It's the home opener. We're still getting tuned up. My name is Bill Matz. I am your director of fun and games for the evening. Joining me tonight is the star of the Anthony Gargano show. It is JP Zapata. Good to see you for your first tour of duty in the regular season, JP.
It's our first game together for the season.
It's the home opener.
Well, that's
excited?
the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, once you get into those West Coast games, you know, because his time is early, man.
That's you working that morning show. Someone has to carry that show, you know?
Yeah, I'm excited, dude. Listen, this city's buzzing right now. I mean, I just told you right before air.
Yeah.
Going to Cherry Hill Mall, going to some sports memorabilia stores. You're seeing the Michkov jerseys. People are talking about Matvei Michkov. He's a water cooler talk these days, man, and it's exciting. It starts tonight.
People who haven't talked to me about hockey in a little bit, you know, they know, like, I've worked everywhere. I've covered other teams and stuff, like neighbors and my parents' development. Like, oh, yeah, you know, they usually talk to me about Jalen Hurts or whatever. Yeah. All they want to know about is Matvei Michkov.
Is he legit?
And
is he legit?
It's Michkov mania, man. It's running wild. There's something to be excited about despite a less than stellar start to this season, less than exciting start to the season. Flyers are 1-2-1 to get going here. Started out on a West Coast trip. They've played some weird games. A lot of penalties have been called. Ton of special teams time both ways. Yep. With, you know, integrating a brand new 19-year-old Russian and an 18-year-old kid, you know, who's basically a senior in high school. Yep. Like, it's just been an odd start to the season with being out west and everything that's going on. So here they are back at the Wells Fargo Center tonight, and I'm pretty excited for this one. Yesterday was the travel day. You know, they finished up in Seattle on Thursday. Travel yesterday. They're home today, so no morning skate. Yeah. I think the idea I saw was everyone just maybe sleep off the time change, sleep off the travel, and get back at it. So there's no with no morning skate today. There are no changes to the lineup. That makes me, except for Ersson being in net, and good. Yes. Maybe we'll talk about that in a little bit. Yeah, so Nick Seeler remains out. Noah Cates and Delorier will be your scratches tonight. And I got to believe that means that they're going to be keeping the lines basically the same as well. Yeah. Which is very interesting because it's Frost, Tippett, Misch. Okay, makes sense. Yep, that's a top line, a top six line, certainly. Then you look at that second line. Farabee, Luchanko, Konechny. Oh, yeah. That's right. Jett Luchanko, not only has he made the team, he is the second line center in this will be the fourth game of his career. He's impressed a bit, but it is odd to see Coots down there on that third line. Yeah. I do like the swap they made last game, switching out Farabee and Forster. I just think, like, Luchanko real fast, Konechny plays with pace. Let's get someone a little bit faster than Forster on that line to maybe keep up with them and match stylistically. And then Forster, while he has more offense than Coots does at this point, a little more physical, they are similar players. Right. They maybe not the fleetest of foot, but high IQ players, good defensive players. And then you have Bobby Brink on the other side, who's got a lot of skill, but he's more of a deliberate sort of playmaker. He's not going to jet out ahead of everybody. So I think these lines for now make the most sense. I really just do want to see Luchanko, Konechny, Tippett together at some point. Yeah, man. Just to have all that speed. Go ahead, try defense. Good luck. We'll see. But I like what they're doing on offense right now. I like the mix. I want to just see some consistency. Whether Luchanko is going to stay here past the 9 games, I think that would be the 29th would be his 9th game before they have to make a decision, burn a year, or send him back. I just want to see maybe these lines stick for a bit and see if we can build up some chemistry with some of these guys before we start putting the lines in the blender. So I like the idea of kind of no lineup changes tonight, as much as kind of it's like, are they going to sit Delorier in the home opener? Like, we know the fans are barbarians, you know? Like, the home fans want to see the fights, damn it. I know I do. And, like, Noah Cates,
dude.
I thought Noah Cates has only played one game, but I thought he was good. But no lineup changes. What do you think?
Listen, I love this. And look, if you're a Flyers fan, you've been watching this team for the past couple of years, you know they've had some fast starts. And you probably don't want to see that exact fast start, but you have to be happy with what you took away from the West Coast trip. Obviously, you're going to take those 3 points. And more importantly, the youngsters, right? Like, obviously, Michkov has taken all of our imagination, right? Like, we're all giddied up on Michkov. But Luchanko, man, he's been one of the – you talked about it on Cuz's show yesterday. Like, he's been one of the best centers on this team.
It's really going to be an interesting – if they decide to send him back, it's
you can't, man.
Danny Briere saying we just don't think this is right for his development. Because John Tortorella – I mean, he doesn't even have to make the argument. He's showing the argument by creating his lineups every night and going, he needs to be not only in the lineup, but in my top 6. Like, he's out there with 2 of the 3 highest paid forwards. Like, Farabee is at $5 million, and Konechny's at 5.5 now, but it jumps to like 8 something next year. Like, these are 2 of your 3 highest paid forwards. You're going to throw them out there with this 18-year-old kid, not because like, oh, we're going to give him a shot. It's no, we think this is who belongs playing with these guys.
Yeah, and oh, by the way, remember everyone used to say, Torts hates the youngsters. He's going to bench them all the time. Well, maybe it's because Torts likes the youngsters who are polished.
He really, really, it seems, believes that your centers need speed. Mm-hmm. It's why he loves Ryan Poehling so much.
Yeah.
I think, like, Charlie and I talked, it's one of the things that maybe frustrates him so much about Morgan Frost is that he is fast, but he's another one of those guys who, instead of I have the puck and I'm just going to break for the net, it's you get to the hash marks, you pull up, and then you wait and see. And he doesn't like that.
Yeah.
He likes going and attacking and beating the other team and putting the pressure on that way.
He wants aggression, man.
Yeah,
he wants aggression.
Jett Luchanko is nothing if not fast. And I think they're coaching him up to be as aggressive. He's had some chances recently. I'm hoping he gets on the board soon, whether they send him back or not. Just have that first goal out of the way. Like, you imagine that you get to go back to your OHL locker room and be like, I've got a goal in the NHL, guys. You know, I think I'm going to be making the World Juniors team this year, considering I've already played in the NHL.
Oh my God,
I just think
dude.
that would be pretty big for him. But I am excited about this game, and when I'm excited, that means I want to make some bets, damn it.
Yeah.
This pregame pick segment is brought to you by Bet365. Use code PHLY365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 or older and physically located in Pennsylvania. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, I am getting right back on the Owen Tippett train.
Yes.
Listen, he didn't come through last game. He was all over the place. He had 16 shot attempts. Now, only 4 were on goal. Mm-hmm. 8 got blocked, which is just way too many. Get it through, dude. But I am taking an Owen Tippett goal at anytime goal at plus 180. And because it seems like he scores in bunches, I'm going to go 2 or more at 12-1 as well.
Okay,
why not?
Bill.
Why not try to get that Owen Tippett 2 or more at 12-1? I was just looking at some other things, and the Sam Ersson save total seemed low.
Dude,
it's at 23.5. It's only minus 105. It's not like a big profit here, but Vancouver's averaging 27.5 shots on goal a game.
Yeah.
Flyers are giving up almost 30 shots a game in the early going. Ersson stopped 24 of 26 against Vancouver in the opener. Why not? I think this is more likely to hit than not in my mind. You know he's going to play the whole game. What, are they going to take him out and put Fedotov? Like, no, that's not going to – it's not as if there's a backup option.
Right.
Like, Fedotov save unders might be something we're looking at in games coming up if he's only going to be making it through 40 minutes, by the way. And finally, it is Michkov Mania.
Let's go.
Over half a point. Mish to record a point is minus 135. I wanted to go with the anytime goal, but I don't want to get burned when the guy has 3 assists. You know, like he's at a point a game right now. The only game he did not score in was the opener against Vancouver. So here's his second chance against this team, maybe to get on the board. And we know he's a little bit of a showman.
Yeah.
It's opening night. I'm gonna tell Bet365. If you win this one, you earned it.
Those bets make too much sense, man. And especially, listen, Michkov's got a point in the last 3 games. It definitely seems like, especially at home, dude. And the crowd's gonna be rocking tonight. I like your Owen Tippett one because, dude, he keeps unleashing the shots. At some point, it's got to fall in.
Like, at a certain point, it's just like one's going to bang off the backboards and come back and hit the goalie and bounce in. Like,
right?
He's due to get a bounce. 16 shot attempts in a game. I don't know if I've ever heard such a number.
Yeah.
Like, he's bound to get one at some point. I'm thinking, well, if he gets one, why not two? That was the pregame bet segment brought to you by Bet365. It's never ordinary at Bet365. This is the PHLY Flyers pregame show brought to you by our friends at Coors Light. When those mountains are blue, crack an ice-cold Coors Light because it's time to chill, baby. And I think, listen, it's good to be of that chill mindset, sure. But tonight, the fans can't be chill. And we need somebody on this Flyers defense to maybe not be so chill. Because I'm looking at the time on ice numbers through the first 4 games. Cam York is at 23:39 a game. His partner, Travis Sanheim, 23:18 a game. Nobody else on the team is in the 20s. We have Zamula at 18:02. Drysdale at 17:56, Risto at 17:07, and then Eric Johnson under 13 minutes a game so far. We saw what happened, especially I think with Travis Sanheim last year. They really piled on the minutes, and he looked good in them in the first half of the season. He's not off to quite the start he was last year, but the whole team isn't. But then we really saw a dip, and it seemed like it took him a little while to come back around. Now, Cam York seemed to kind of ascend as the season went on. He's leading the team in ice time right now, but we need somebody else to step up. Obviously, the defense is in a bind without Nick Seeler. It's crazy to think how far we've come on Nick Seeler in the last couple of years. Dude. Well, now it's like, well, of course the defense is no good. Nick Seeler's out.
Who's going to block all the shots?
What can you do? It was like, is this guy even an NHL player? And now it's, oh, yeah, well, we need him. We need him badly. But it looks like it's going to be Johnson and Drysdale again tonight. And Drysdale got the goal last game, so maybe that builds some confidence, gets something going. But he's one of these guys I really need to see step up a little bit.
No, I mean, this is the one that we always talked about in the offseason, right? Taking those proper steps, especially, when we're talking about those creative blue liners, right? Like Jamie Drysdale, and especially the skating ability that he contains as well. We wanted to see him take those steps here, especially defensively, right, Bill? So, like, I was looking at the last 4 games, and obviously the first 4 games, and obviously, listen, the Calgary one and the last one, not great. But Fedotov was in that. And so you have to put some stock into that. But I'm going to keep an eye on those two, Johnson and Drysdale, because obviously a lot of eyes on Drysdale, and he's matched up with the vet, which I do like here early on in the season. But, that's one we're expecting to take some serious strides here.
I think he's gotten lost in coverage a couple of times, Jamie Drysdale has. But overall, I think his defense has been better than last season. Now, that bar is on the floor, especially like just remembering the Montreal game. I think he was -6 or whatever it was. But I think his defense has been better than it was last year. He understands what they're doing a little bit more. He had that adjustment period. Anaheim plays a man defense. The Flyers are an exclusively zone team. It was just took a little bit of time last year, and he missed with the injury and everything. But what I'm looking at right now with Drysdale, I know the most important thing is him just playing. Like, they believe they need to teach him how to play NHL hockey right now. But I'm looking at a team that's really struggling to score at 5-on-5 and a power play that is really buzzing. I mean, they have 6 power play goals. They have 12 goals in total this year. 6 at 5-on-5. 4 on 5-on-4 power plays, 1 on a 6-on-4 power play, and 1 shorthanded. They have 5 power play goals through 4 games. And Jamie Drysdale doesn't have an assist yet. It's like, all right, man, I need you excelling at one thing and working on the other parts of your game. It all can't be a work in progress, but maybe that's the case. And it's not as if there's been a ton of help out there with the other defensemen either. Risto and Zamula have been not great to start the season. We'll put it that way. It hasn't been an awesome start for them. I think the heavy minutes that Sanheim and York are being tasked with has maybe made it a difficult process. And you look at some of the lines they've been up against. I mean, you look at just the first 2 games with the firepower Vancouver has, obviously the job they did in Edmonton. Like, it's going to be a little bit of a difficult start here for this team. But now with the benefit of maybe getting them out there in some favorable, the whole defense, getting them out there with favorable matchups at home, I'm looking to see a little bit more of that structure that was so good last year defensively.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, obviously, we got to say it too. We're hoping Risto starts off the season off the right note. Maybe we could possibly package him later on down the line.
Would be nice.
Definitely something we're going to be looking at as well. But no, in all seriousness, but you just want like consistent blue line play. And like, yes, Sanheim and York, we're obviously looking for a lot from them, especially as they're going to take the first 2 or the first pairing early or in this season as well. But, you want to see the structure from the rest of the pairings as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not just the back end. Like I said, the team has only scored 12 goals over the first 4 games, and that's okay, 3 goals a game, but it's the new NHL where scoring is up, and it's the early season where I just saw the average save percentage to start this year is like .896 or something. It's goalies are getting lit up to start this year. There have been a ton of goals scored. I would like to see this team get a little bit of that rush game going that it had last year, because this power play being good, that's awesome. And we said, listen, the team last year with a functional power play makes the playoffs, and that's true. But the other elements of last year have not shown themselves yet. The goaltending hasn't been as good. Ersson has been fine. It's obviously the 2 games where Fedotov has played that really skew the numbers. And then just the 5-on-5 offense. It's just not what it was to start last season. So I'm looking to get that going a little bit more. But now that we're back on home ice, maybe the boys are more comfortable. I feel like that road trip, it's like an extended preseason almost. The way I look at I think September in the NFL is basically the preseason now, because nobody plays in the preseason. So it's like, well, we get all the crap out of the way in the first month, and then we figure it out. Like, the Aaron Rodgers, RELAX. Like, yeah, man, we're still practicing. Like, I'm thinking maybe those 4 games, they're all on the road. They're weird times. You're an East Coast team. Now we start to maybe look more like ourselves. Yes. That's the hope.
So I do have a question. So what's so fascinating about sports, Bill, is like, especially in professional sports, there's always trends, right? Like you look at the NFL right now, but teams are going back to fullbacks. We're going back to West Coast patterns. And NHL, the past couple of years, it felt like the league was going more towards like that physical play, fast still, right? But like more of that physical play. Could we be going back to those high scoring, high skill type of hockey that we saw like in the 2010s?
I think there's definitely shooters are just so good now, and everyone is so fast. I think it's one of the reasons Jett Luchanko is here, is the coach is just looking at this lineup and going, who gives me that element? Konechny plays with pace. Tippett's real fast. Paling, obviously, but how many minutes do you actually want to play Ryan Paling? Like, he is a role player. And like, he looks at Jett Luchanko and goes, it's not only a position of need, but it is a skill of need. Mm-hmm. So it's here. So I do think there is, with how young the game is, it's not like kids are out there really, you know what, I want to be the best forechecker in the league. No, man, like, they're setting up the targets in the net, and they are ripping shots, and they're trying to be as fast as possible because they want to skate alongside Connor McDavid. Like,
and then just a little bit of practice in the Michigan.
Yeah, like exactly, like, and high skilled plays. I just think the league is so young, and kids are working on their skills so early. Like, I didn't have puck handling wasn't like a thing until I was already like, they're like, yeah, man, it's too late for you. Like, you have stone hands. I don't know what to tell you. You know, like, and now it's like skill development starts so early, and the league is so young now that I do think we are kind of maybe getting back to some of that. I don't want to say the 1980s hockey, because there were no, like, the goaltenders absolutely sucked. It basically wasn't an actual position. And the third periods were just, all out brawls if it was a blowout game. I don't think we're going to see any of that really anymore. But I do think it's every year there's a ton of goals to start the year, and then it levels off a little. But I just, the league save percentage last year was like around 900, maybe 899. I don't see it going back up.
Okay.
I think that the shooters are just so good now that maybe we do have to recalibrate what we think of goalies, like our expectation for what a goalie's numbers should be. Where it was like 9-10, 9-15, that's average. Now it's like, oh, if a non-elite goalie is at 9-10, he's having an awesome year. Like, that's what we're looking at now. But the league has been fun to start this season.
It has. So, Bill, I want to imagine you as an 18-year-old rookie in the NHL going to your first home opener with your new team. How would you dress?
Oh, man. How would I dress? I mean, they have a dress code, so I guess I can't just dress like myself.
That's true. That is true.
I
guess you're going tie.
No alarm clocks, no neckties. That's my creed.
Are you going no tie, bow tie?
I would probably go with like maybe first game you do something ridiculous like wear a tuxedo. What do we have? Well, how did our boys dress tonight?
All right, so Brent, we have Jett here. Jett's probably look. He's ready for his first internship at Morgan here. Look at him. No tie. He's got the
Jett
nice
and
gray.
Jamie Drysdale look I cannot tell them apart.
It's crazy, dude. An 18-year-old kid going to his first NHL. This is insane.
I dig it. All right, he looks good though.
He does, man.
I don't think he's overdressed. It's stylish, but it's not like over the top. I think he's good.
Yes, hockey players definitely like their fitted suits, but then yes,
got to show off those thighs, man. You don't.
It's leg day, baby.
It's not leg day every day to not show them off. Like,
absolutely.
I get it. I absolutely get it.
And then Michkov, dude, look at these shades, man.
I like the shades.
He's crisp, dude. Green.
I think this is a great look.
Oh, yeah,
this is tremendous. The over-ear headphones, I love that. That's good stuff.
It's also giving just a tad bit of Top Gun.
I was like, I'm almost like thinking John Lennon, like maybe a little bit of an oversized suit jacket, I don't know. It's a good look though.
Absolutely,
I am a fan.
The boys are ready.
I want to get a bit into the opponent tonight. The Vancouver Canucks. It looks like it'll be Kevin Lankinen back in net for them. He was the goalie in the opener out in Vancouver. He played a tremendous game in the shootout loss. 3 of the Canucks' 4 games have gone to overtime so far. They're 0-2 on the road. Something I just looked up. Maybe you want to go back on Bet365. Game to go to overtime. It's a tie on the 3-way line plus 375. I don't know. Flyers, half their games have gone to overtime.
Yeah.
3 out of 4 have gone to overtime for Vancouver. Maybe. Just saying. Of course, it's not a late night game, so it won't go to overtime. We only get those for the 10 o'clock starts.
I don't know. I am in the building, so there could be overtime.
It could happen. It could happen, JP. Something else I was looking at. Elias Pettersson, who I was prior to him signing the big contract last season. That was my guy. I was thinking, okay, where can we get these high-end centers? Super skilled high-end centers. Looking at Elias Pettersson, he was still unsigned at the time. I was like, maybe that's an offer sheet possibility for the Flyers. He did, of course, eventually sign an $11.6 million average annual value contract with Vancouver last year. So that dream died. And maybe that's a good thing. He only has 1 assist so far in the year. No goals, 1 assist, and it came in the opener against Calgary, which was an insane high-scoring back-and-forth game. But he's really been on a skid, going back to when he signed the contract prior to the playoffs and through the playoffs, all of that. So keep an eye on Pettersson. I guess you could say maybe he's due, and you want to, he's going to score eventually. Maybe you want to take him at an anytime goal, but I cannot possibly bring myself to bet on an opponent in the home opener. No. If the season starts to go off the rails, I will absolutely be betting the other team's guys to score all the time. But while there's hope, I am going to be betting with that hope and just kind of going with Flyers until then.
Could the money have gotten to him, Bill?
That does happen with guys sometimes. I mean, we've seen it happen with the Phillies time and time again. Trey Turner, Nick Castellanos, all the way back to Pat Burrell. We have seen this sort of thing happen. Guy signs a big contract and suddenly it's maybe they let off the gas a little because they got paid. Maybe the pressure of the contract. But whatever it is, Vancouver has a ton of skilled players.
They do.
But their highest paid guy, Elias Pettersson, 1 assist through 4 games for them. Not exactly lighting it up. So maybe that's a matchup bonus. They're catching the Canucks in 2 games before one of their best players really gets going. Maybe that's something we can look at and like, okay, that's a reason the Flyers could win tonight.
Yeah.
All right. Before we wrap up pregame, let's hit some super chats.
Super chats.
We got only one super chat thus far. It is from Corey. He says, I need to see more from Tippett and Drysdale tonight. Yeah, that's scoring bunches, and we just kind of have to accept that with Tippett. We need the bunches to be longer. We need the droughts to be shorter now that he's a $6.2 million player. But I absolutely think he's close.
Yeah, man.
The missing the net, the getting shots blocked, all that stuff, it's not good. But 16 shot attempts means he's in and around. Like, he's around the puck. The puck is on his stick enough for him to have 16 freaking shot attempts. That means he's close. He just has to straighten it out. He just has to start hitting some corners. We've seen him do it in the past. I have no reason to believe he can't. Jamie Drysdale is just, he's going to be a work in progress, and I don't know if we're ever going to be satisfied with what we see out of Drysdale this year because he has so much. They are telling us he has so much to learn.
Yeah, man. And like right now, we talk about this in the offseason too. Like, I feel like I just want to see him out there, right? Like staying healthy, consistently staying in the lineup there, and just focusing on one thing, right? Just again, staying in the lineup, but also offensively. You brought up a great point. Being an assist getter, especially on that power play, quarterback in that power play, like those little things that we could definitely expect. But this is a smart fan base, right? We see the skill set from Tippett and Drysdale, so we expect that from them. And I think those guys are definitely going to come along as the season goes on. They're very young as well, too.
And that's listen, Drysdale, I know he's had a rough start to his career with the injuries and just how bad Anaheim is being in that situation. This is a guy who was drafted 6th overall. We know he can skate as fast as anybody. He has a skill set. He had a 30-plus point season in the NHL at one point. We just are hoping to see signs of him putting it together and signs of him doing it consistently. Mm-hmm. He hasn't yet. That's one of the reasons he was available for the Flyers to trade for Cutter Gauthier, who not off to the best start either in Anaheim. Say, man, I wonder how long.
That Cutter watch is it's very nice to watch.
Wonder how long until he's like, maybe this isn't the situation for me either. You know? I'm sure it'll be more than a few games, but can't imagine he's, oh man, no, I couldn't possibly play for the Flyers. They thought maybe I would have to go to the AHL. He's been benched already several times. Not physically engaged, giving up on plays. It's a damn shame.
A lot of eyes on him, man.
We need Drysdale. Either way, we need Drysdale to work out because Cutter was taken with the 5th overall pick. Yes, Michkov, in terms of prospect rankings, higher than Cutter, without a doubt. But that's the highest pick the Flyers are likely going to get for some time unless things go way off the rails. Mm-hmm. The way they have planned this is that 5th overall pick, which, you know, they eventually traded for the 2026th overall pick and Jamie Drysdale. That's one of your premier assets. It's one of the big things that's going to turn this thing around, that is going to complete this rebuild. We need Drysdale to be something. And we need him to be something.
Yes, that is you're 100% right, man. Was he 6th overall?
6th overall.
Yeah, man. And then that was part of the trade, right? You get your top prospect for them, top prospect for us. Easy or simple switch there, but listen, it's there for him. He's got the opportunity, and it's going to be exciting to watch too. I'm excited to see what he's going to present out there.
All right, let's hit this other super chat that just came in from Spiral Out. It says, Saturday night hockey, pour them out, light them up. Let's go Flyers. Absolutely, Spiral Out. I am right there with you. That. And on that note, this has been the PHLY Flyers pregame show presented by Coors Light. Visit CoorsLight.com/PHLY hockey to get Coors Light delivered or find a store near you. Make sure you are following us right here on the YouTube page and set that reminder bell so you never miss a live show. We will be back to you following the conclusion of tonight's game, Flyers Canucks, with our post-game show. That will be a lot of fun, so make sure you're tuned in. As always, follow us on Twitter at PHLY_Flyers. I'll be tweeting from there throughout the game, so if you want my thoughts on Jim Jackson's different funny, phrases and some of the commercials that play. No, I actually do tweet about the game when I'm on the Flyers account.
I'm sure Gray's gonna do something funny today in opener.
Oh, always. So make sure you're following us on Twitter and follow the podcast as well. You can find all of our shows in audio form. Just search PHLY Flyers. That'll do it for us. I am Bill Matz. That is JP Zapata. Let's go Flyers.
Let's go Flyers.
We all silly like the mayor.